Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Just here to work on again this Tilda journal that we've been working on together. So just for those of you who may not have kind of seen the earlier ones, we have been using this gorgeous paper pad. It's the Sewing Bird paper pad from Tilda range, and it's of the most beautiful papers. And it's also included some gorgeous die cut sheets. Apparently it is not really available anywhere. I've had lots of kind of messages with people saying they can't get hold of it anywhere. So if you do manage to see some, maybe, you know, on eBay, or, you know, see one on eBay or whatever, and you really like it, probably best that you get it, because yeah, from what I can make out, it's very, very, very tricky to get hold of it anywhere now, which is obviously sending me into panic of, oh, you know, I'm using it up. But never mind, we'll carry on, because that was kind of the initial intention of the video, was to kind of use up some stash. So that's what we're doing. For those of you who also haven't really kind of been watching, so we're working on this journal, and then hopefully, well, not hopefully, we're going to, or I'm going to do it as a giveaway. I won't be doing the giveaway until at least the end of August. So even if we complete the journal, the giveaway won't be until then, just purely because of, you know, busy summer and things like that. So that's everything, I think, for the kind of introducing of what we've been up to. Right, so getting straight on in, really, we have been finally sticking bits into the journal, which, hurrah, it felt like we were never going to actually get around to doing that. So last time we did this gorgeous page. I'm going to move this tag because it may not go in there. We've done this gorgeous page, this gorgeous page, hard to remember what we've done, the center pages, and then this page here, and this one here. I don't think we did any others. I could be wrong. No. Okay, so they're the pages that we have done so far. So just coming back to kind of this page, really, to start with, I'm just going to kind of weigh that down. I'm wondering about kind of popping some lace trim or something beneath this, because to me this looks a little bit on the plain side. So I'm just going to check that I'm in frame. I am kneeling up, but I can't actually see without kind of standing up a little bit as well. So we might pop some lace trim or something at the bottom, just to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. So the pink's quite pretty, or I've got some of this blue. The blue lace is a little bit on the wide side. Let me just, I've got my little supply of laces here to the side, so in case you're wondering what I'm doing, it's kind of nothing very exciting, just rummaging through my lace trims that I've brought along. The purple's quite nice. The purple just looks really pretty, I think, on everything, strangely enough. And I also brought along a piece of kind of just white fabric ruffle, just in case we wanted to use that anywhere. So we could have that. And also what I've, you know, thrown on the pile, I've said every time, I've literally at the end of every process video just piled this whole bunch up and just left it to one side in my kind of craft area. I haven't touched it, I haven't kind of worked with it at all or anything. But I have from time to time been throwing extra things on that I just think, oh, that might go, that might work. So before coming along today, I have thrown on just a bunch of different bows that I just had kind of, you know, ready made, which I just thought may kind of work, you know, with the journal. So I just thought I'd bring them along. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to cut this ruffle, you know, not really in half, but I'm just going to cut it, you know, just anywhere. And I just check that I'm using the right side. So if we were to have the ruffle, just looking, we could then have a little bow kind of on the edge, which that looks quite pretty. So might go for that. Hope I'm in frame. So I'm going to glue this with the hot glue, because obviously fabric ruffles, they're not really resistant to glue, but obviously a little bit thicker and things to actually glue down. So it's good to have something a bit more instant than the wet glue. So I'm just going to pop that like that, and then I'm just going to stick this blue bow just at the edge. And again, I will just go with the hot glue for that, because again, it's kind of a bit of a more bulky embellishment, so it's kind of, you know, needs to be a bit more instant with the sticking. So that's better. To my eye, that just looks a bit more pleasing. It was a little bit plain before. So that's that one. Now I'm thinking the same about this page, that it possibly could do with a little bit more decorative pieces. So I also chucked on the pile a couple of my little button kind of embellishments that I make. So we could pop something like that down. Or I've obviously got a little kind of cotton reel thing, spool of thread, and these were the ones that I think I explained last time. I had to kind of print some off just so that we had enough, you know, embellishment pieces to go round. I've got these flowers, which I think this is 2, so I'm just going to pick this one apart. Just felt a little bit thick to be just one. Oh, come on. Okay, so we could kind of have it like that. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? And we could even just put a little bit of lace kind of underneath it, so almost like a cluster, I suppose. Could kind of just pop it onto some lace like that. Or we could try the lilac, wherever that has gone. Too many bits and bobs here, you see, in my ever-growing pile. Although, I mean, it should be diminishing now, shouldn't it? Because we're coming towards the end of the journal, but it doesn't appear to be. It's because I keep throwing new things on. I also brought along this ruffle, which I think I've tried it on a couple of other pages from time to time. I quite like this against this, but it's maybe not quite the right shape for the page, so I'll take that off. Right, we'll go with this one. Now it's just deciding which colour lace to have, really. That might be an overdose of pink. The reason I think the lilac, I mean, I actually think the blue looks better, but the reason I'm thinking the lilac is because obviously we've got the lilac lace on this side, so I thought it would kind of pick it up a bit. But I actually kind of didn't necessarily think that the lilac looked that great. Let me just move that to one side, and I'm just going to cut this kind of down a bit because otherwise it was a little bit monstrous. So we could have it kind of like that. Yeah, I quite like that, and I've also got some buttons, and this lilac one I thought would be quite good somewhere in this journal, so maybe like that. So again, what I might do is glue the lace kind of with the hot glue, and then it's just nice and instant and kind of firmly stuck down like that. Just press it, okay, and then just kind of sort out the kind of arrangement for these items, maybe like that. So I might actually hot glue all of these things down now because you know, I have I've used the hot glue kind of on the lace, if you see what I mean. So I'll just pop that down like that. And then I'll just glue this. I seem to have hot glue stuck all over my hands. I had been doing something before I've come to do this video. So I've already got ink already all over my hands. And little threads of glue. It's just not a good look, is it, really? It's just not. Right, there we go. So that looks pretty, I think. It was just looking a little bit plain, I thought. So that just kind of adds a little bit of, you know, interest to the page. So that's that. Then this page, I love this page as it is, and quite honestly you couldn't really fit much else on there anyway. So that's that one. This page I really like, happy with that, so we'll go with that. Now this page, although kind of it is very plain because it just has this little trim across the bottom, I actually really like it, and I think going to leave that plain. So the next one is this one. Now I'm going to double check that we definitely want it like this, because I do really like that one on there. I do actually really like that on there, to be honest. Let's just double check. I know we have done this several times. I think I prefer that on there, actually. I know we have done this several times, and so you probably are all getting really bored, and you know, it probably really doesn't matter a great deal kind of how these things are, but you know what it's like, it matters. It matters to you, doesn't it, when you're kind of making the things. So maybe like that, because I quite like this on here. Right. Oops. Just before I glue that down, let me just double check, because actually I quite like those two together. I know this is just tedious beyond belief, I'm sure, to be watching, and you must all be wondering what on earth you're doing even watching this craziness taking place. But it is so important to get it quite right, isn't it, you know, as you want things. So I just I moved this, just wondering where I would be able to have this one, as I had that there. Now I quite like that, how it affects the folding. Just check that that's okay. The only thing is, I then have those two corners quite close together, which never quite sure about that. So I can't remember where I took that piece from now. Maybe I took it from, I know this is terribly boring, and I just really do apologise. I do sometimes overthink these things a little bit much. I quite like her there, actually. But it is important to, you know, be happy with what you're doing, isn't it? And you know, have things as you really want them. I quite like that on there. I don't know whether you all think that's a little bit much, but I actually quite like that on there. And actually kind of fun like that. So now I have this piece. So let's just check where we're putting things. Maybe what I should do is glue down the bits I'm 100% certain on. That would probably be the most sensible thing, wouldn't it? Could have that there, actually. That's quite nice. Decisions. I could have it like that. Maybe that. Maybe like that. Right. Let's stick down a couple of things that we definitely know that we like. I know that I love this page. I really do. Simple and kind of clean, but really, really, really like it. You know, I think it just looks really pretty. So, and we're going to have this lace trim. Let me just check that I have it the right way. Now, we can either have it running outside, you know, with the frilly bit outside, or we could have it running with the frilly bit inside. So let's glue that piece on. So I'm just going to bring this book back to kind of weigh this page down while we stick this on. Now, I'm wondering whether to actually glue this on with hot glue. No, I will use the wet glue. My glue's beginning to run out now, so I'll just give it a shake. Oh no, it's clogged up since 10 minutes ago. It got fed up with waiting for me, obviously. Oh, let me see whether I have my pokey tool here. So I'll just obviously poke that in to open the hole. Like that. And I've brought along a wipe today. Okay. Just pop that like that. I mean, I just think this is such a stylish, lovely image. And obviously we popped just that zip on. It really didn't need an awful lot else on there. It was just lovely. So we'll just pop that down, and then I'll just pop the book on there to kind of weigh it down. So while that's drying, I know for definite that I want this here, because I absolutely love, love, love this on this polka dot paper, kind of picking it up from her dress. I love it. So definitely going with that. So I'm going to just hold that down there, and we will just literally glue this piece on. So again, and I will just run some glue along that lace there as well. So yeah, I love this piece, absolutely love it. Okay. Okay, now while those two pieces are kind of drying in place for a moment, because I don't want to obviously kind of disturb them, I'm going to just kind of trap that blue lace under there before I lose that. I'm going to put this to one side, and we'll do a couple of the tags, I think, just while this is kind of drying for a moment. Let me see whether I've got anything I can weigh that down with now, because I'm obviously using those books for my tripod. So I've got some card here, so I'm just going to weigh that down. Now what I've done this morning is, before coming along, I've just printed off some of the ephemera pieces that I have. So this is just some vintage ephemera that I happen to have in my stash. So all I've done is kind of made it to roughly the size that I want it, and then I've coloured the pieces, just so that they're kind of, you know, vaguely in keeping with the colours of the journal. So if we start with this, now this has been literally printed out onto ivory cardstock, and this here has been printed out onto white paper, but it's slightly thicker than copy paper. I can't remember now the actual thickness of this, but it's slightly thicker than the copy paper that I would ordinarily use. I'm kind of experimenting with papers and getting to grips and learning kind of what works best at the moment. So I'm experimenting here just with this slightly thicker paper. So I'm going to move this to one side for a moment, and we'll just cut out a couple of pieces from here. So I shrunk these down to be able to use them as kind of journaling cards, and then obviously I've coloured them. So this one here in this pale blue. And then see if I have my round, corner rounder thing. I don't know whether I do have. Just looking in my bag of tricks here beside me. Yep, I do. Okay, so I will just round the corners of this. And I'll just cut out the other ones as well, just while we're here. Now I should have really cut these out in slow time rather than bore you cutting them out, but I've left them like that to show you kind of how they were, you know, so that you saw that they weren't just kind of as they came, if you see what I mean. You know, so that was why I kind of didn't do that. So we've got those two, and then these ones here. Now again, obviously kind of the colour on screen sometimes does vary when you print it out. So this one here, it may be that it's actually quite orange, and we might not really be able to use it in the journal. On the screen it obviously looked a lot more kind of pinky reddy colour, you know, so we'll kind of see whether that works or not. And then that one. Okay. So I move these to one side. I've just got a carrier bag beside me just to put bits of rubbish in. So we'll work on them obviously one at a time. So I've got this blue one here, and obviously in order to kind of, you know, make them sewing themed, I thought we'll use some of these little bits and pieces that I'd made up the other day. So I'll just cut out actually one of these sewing machines. Now, the other day I had to laugh because I did have a comment about my fussy cutting with these huge scissors. For some reason, these are always the scissors that I use. I've said before, they're just those bunches of scissors that you buy from IKEA. They come in a 3-pack. I think they're £1 now. Love them, absolutely love them. I don't like the smaller ones particularly. They come in a pack of just 1 large pair and 2 slightly smaller pairs. I don't really like the smaller ones, but I do love the large ones. So yeah, I can't seem to get on really with other scissors. So I know that some people fussy cut with those teeny weeny ones, but they're just not for me. So I just, yeah, like these large ones really. Now, I personally do not like this white card. So what I'm going to do, and I don't know whether this is going to work or not, I'm going to cut it here, kind of where it's, you know, the needle bit is joining the plate. And then I'm going to cut it round, just so that I can get rid of, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. I don't have to get rid of it really tight to the shape, but just so as I get rid of more of it than there was, if you see what I mean, because I just didn't really like so much white. And having said, I don't need to go right near it. You know, my obsessive kind of nature is now coming out and dictating that I do have to. So I would just literally cut that a little bit closer in 1 or 2 places. Okay. That's a bit better. Now this is where I'm sure that you're all screaming, wow, if you had those tiny scissors you'd be able to get right in there. But I would, but I probably wouldn't be able to actually manoeuvre them with my kind of big clumsy kind of ways. So yeah, probably best that I just leave it as is. So I'm kind of thinking we can just kind of plop that on, and then I'm just going to have a look in my little bag of buttons, see whether there's any kind of cute buttons that we could place on here to kind of go with it. They look quite big at the moment. Oh, that one's nice. Just suddenly spotted it as it was dropping back in. Right, so what I thought, if we just get a little bit of lace, you know, and just snip it off. Now, I mean, I haven't tried this, it may look rubbish, so, you know, it's all just trial and error, and, you know, it's all just playing. So I'm kind of thinking just maybe kind of a couple of buttons like that. Well, that one's quite yellow now, it's actually there. I don't think we'll use that yellow one. So we could have that one, or I'm wondering whether that's not quite the right colour for this and whether it would look better on another one. Maybe that's an overdose of pink. But just before I go with that, I'm just going to cut out one or two other bits just to make sure. So I've got these little pieces here. These were hairpin cards, which again I've just added those little cluster of flowers so it's all kind of tying in and hopefully kind of emulates the sewing machine from the Tilda stuff, and obviously coloured it blue. You know, we could have something like that. Or we could have obviously different coloured lace. So let's just have a look. Just going to randomly cut a piece of the lilac. I'll just try the lilac. Oh, that's instantly better, I think. So yes, I much prefer that with the lilac. Now, we could have that there, or we could have it kind of up here more like a tab for the tag. We could have the lilac actually going off like a tab. And then it covers up that nice script writing, doesn't it? Oh, I have it at the bottom. I'll just check whether it looks better with the sewing machine. Oh, I hope I'm in frame. That's quite nice actually, just like that. So I'm just going to glue down again my glue, give it a shake. Now this gizmo here, in case you're wondering, I have done a video of that, so you may have seen it or it may have not been uploaded yet, but it's a very handy little tool that my husband actually made me, which he's not the best handyman in the world, so I was kind of impressed that he was able to make that, but I've had it for years and years and I use it all the time. So yeah, either the video is up there now or it will be posted within the next, you know, week or so. So either hunt it out or keep watching. Now the reason I don't know is because I'm trying to do these videos kind of, you know, ahead of time so that I have some to upload while I'm busy kind of in the coming weeks. Right, I like that with that little button there, so I'm just going to literally glue that button on. And I don't think I'm going to go with the blue button actually, although it did look quite nice there. So I'm not going to. So I'm going to just now pop that to one side with the book piled on that, gluing the lace and the sewing machine down. So I'm just going to move that out the way. And then we'll bring the journal back. So that was just a kind of 5-minute project really while we were waiting for the glue to dry a bit. So now we can obviously get back to what we had been doing. So move that out the way. Oh, I do apologise if this is very scatty, but sometimes you have to just kind of organically go with, you know, while something's drying, kind of do something else, don't you? So I quite like that. So I'm just going to turn the book round so as I can get to the edge, and then we're going to kind of glue it on, probably at a curve because it's going in that natural direction. So I'll just glue like that. And then same again here. So just a bit of glue there. Okay, so love this page, just simple but really nice. And then just check whether we want anything else on there. I mean, we could break it up with a bow. It's a shame that I used that blue one just now. Obviously I could dash and get another one, but I don't want to keep on running off, kind of leaving you here with nothing to watch. So, and I still haven't fathomed out how to join 2 videos together when doing it on the iPad, although my son assures me there must be you know, video editing software, you know, kind of apps like that you would use on your iPad, you know, but I just haven't really got round to doing that yet. So hopefully eventually I will get round to kind of doing that, and I'll find one that's just brilliant. But until that time, we'll have to just kind of, you know, go with it, I'm afraid. So, right. I can't find, I thought I had a little white bow, you know, when I said that I bought some little bits and bobs along with me. So I'm just rummaging again through my little supply of goodies that are here to the side, but I can't actually see it anywhere. No doubt. Ah, no, that's an ivory one. Right, okay. Well, we can come back to that anyway. So we were gluing down, obviously, the pages that, there it is, that we're definitely sure of. So I just wonder whether we could have a little bow there, just to kind of, you know, make it a bit more interesting. So I'll just, again, hot glue that bow like that. I mean, to be honest, when you're working with such pretty papers, you know, everything looks lovely, doesn't it? It's, you know, not really kind of any surprise that things look pretty because the papers are so lovely. So, right, not 100% sure about these back ones. So let's see if there's some other ones that we're 100% sure of. Now, I do quite like her there. You see, but ordinarily I would have had her obviously... and to be honest, it doesn't really matter because if I'm having that one there anyway, I might as well swap them round so that the edge bulky pieces aren't in the middle, if you see what I mean. I'll have them here on the edge of the page. So I think we'll go with that. Yes, let's glue some down. Stop wasting so much of everyone's time. So again, I would just use the wet glue and just glue that on there like that. think I've got any bulldog clips with me. So what I'm going to do is just literally paper clip that together just to hold it for a few minutes, just until it's kind of stuck. I'll bring that book back as well. So, I mean, already I'm kind of just thinking, you know, we could just slot that there, and that just looks so pretty. So, yeah, I quite like how that's turned out. I think it looks really nice. So we'll just leave it like that, I think. Well, hey, we've got one journaling card even done. So that's kind of more than what I thought we would achieve today. So that's kind of good. Now, while that's drying, we might work on another one, because you know, just to kind of be a bit time efficient. So again, I've just balanced the book on there. So let's pull this one forward. So this was an entrance to Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle obviously being where, you know, Meghan and Harry got married. Wow, what a stunning backdrop that was when they came out. And you know, when they had that cheeky kiss and that archway. Oh, it looked like a fairy tale, didn't it? The beautiful kind of flowers all around the arch and the blue sky. It just looked so beautiful. Oh, really, really, really lovely. Just what a stunning venue. Oops. Absolutely stunning. So, yeah. But this actually is dated the Saturday the 14th of June 1913, this piece of ephemera here. So it was actually an orangey colour, and I have obviously kind of coloured it in this purple colourway just to, you know, tie in with the journal. Okay. It says admit one to the lower ward. I don't know quite what that kind of means, but anyway. Right, I'm just swapping legs now because I'm kind of kneeling up and my leg was beginning to go dead. So that was what I was doing there. I doubt that you're all that interested what I'm doing, but I'm only telling you because if I jog the table, or if you can kind of hear sort of rummaging around noises, just want you to know kind of what I'm doing, really. Okay. So I've got these purple flowers, which obviously we have used a purple flower on that page that we were looking at just now. So I just wondered whether that might be nice on there. Maybe it looks a little bit drab with the purple and the purple. So we'll decide kind of once and for all in a moment. But we could brighten it up by having kind of, you know, maybe one of those on there or something. Just have a look in my little stash here to the side. I'm just rummaging and not doing anything very interesting, you know. I'm just literally having a little bit of a look through bits and bobs that are here to the side, just to see if there's anything else that we can be using. So again, I've got these little journaling label things, which I really like using. So I'm just going to fussy cut one of those out. Again with my giant scissors. And then, you know, I thought we could just literally try. I mean, we are just playing around, you know. I don't know what's going to look good, and I don't know what the final card will look like. So it really is just experimentation here, you know, not kind of being too fussy about anything. So, and I said before, I think I often like to cut these in half and kind of have them off to the side. I think looks really, really nice. So, you know, we could have something like that. Then here I've got that teeny weeny word, memories, that I had also done the other day. It is minuscule, I have to say, so this really is tricky to cut this one out, even though it's just square, or, you know, rectangular. It's just straight lines anyway, so, but even being straight lines, because it's so tiny, it is actually a little bit tricky to work with. That's kind of sweet, isn't it? I was having a rummage to see whether I had some of those buttons, you know, from the Tilda pack. And I can't now see any, which is a little bit annoying. And it is a bit annoying because I know for a fact that there are some, because I did see some earlier. So it's just kind of a case of, just because I'm here, it's now, you know, not going to plan. Also brought along this little fabric heart, just because I thought maybe that would look kind of nice. So we could. I don't really want to cover up the 1913 because I think that's, you know, really kind of cool. So we could have it something like that. I did also do some scissors. Now I'm not sure how they will look, because obviously I would not be able to fussy cut the white from the middle, which, you know, I would find that a little bit irritating, seeing that white bit. But we'll just kind of cut one out anyway, just to see. And I mean, strangely enough, I don't know why it irritates me so much, because actually some packs that you buy do have things like the middle of the scissors still filled in. But I think kind of when you've made it yourself, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I then get incredibly kind of aware and incredibly kind of critical and think, oh no, that doesn't look quite right. Whereas if I bought it like that, I just accept it and I'm more than happy to kind of have it that way. No, I don't like that. You know, so I don't know whether you guys find that, but definitely if I've made it, I'm kind of much more than drawn to any kind of things that I think are not quite right, you know, whereas kind of if you buy it, I might kind of think, oh, it's a shame that they're filled in, but I still work with it. So it's funny how we do that sometimes, isn't it? Right, I've cut out a little spool there, which looks rather cute, so perhaps we'll have the little spool on there, and perhaps we won't have the heart. Let's take the heart off. I'm just wondering whether I've got any book page. I've literally got a tiny weeny sliver, so let's have a look. Could have a bit of book page. Yeah, that's quite nice. So I stood my glue up to try and keep it running down, but it had fallen over. Well, we've still got this lovely weather here. It's it seems to be keeping on going, so that's really nice. We've had a couple of slightly cooler days, so that was a bit of a relief, if I'm truthful, but it's still, you know, it's still nice and still bright sunshine and blue skies, you know, still summer clothes, which is good. Okay, and then this little word memories, we could just pop somewhere kind of there. I think it's quite nice, and then we're not covering up the journaling spot, so that's still there for kind of, you know, I mean, even if you wanted to put kind of an inspirational word or something in that journaling spot, I think that's quite nice to do, you know. So I'm just going to literally snip that little piece off so that it's square at the edge. So, you know, quite simple but kind of cute, I think. You know, we could decorate it further, have a little flower on there. Don't know whether that's really necessary, but, you know, we could do. Okay. So time to bring the journal back. Hopefully that piece is stuck down now. It's been weighed down for a while. Okay, so we've got obviously journaling card there. So I made this journaling card initially to go in here, but actually I'm going to mix it up because we don't necessarily want all the same kind of things next to each other, if you see what I mean. So I might actually have this one popped in here. Now I'm just aware that obviously these pieces are a little bit wet still, so just being a bit careful. So that's that page. We could stick some other things on there. That's quite nice at the bottom, but might come back to that page. So I'll just kind of go through. So I love, 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 love this one on here. So I think we'll glue this one down because I definitely, definitely want this one on here. I love how it looks. So I'm just having a look to see whether we want it, because I really ideally want to cover up this stuff here. Not because I don't like it, I do rather like it, but obviously this is a sewing journal, and so that to me, it's not in the theme. So I didn't really want it showing. So maybe we'll just have it like that. And actually I don't even think it needs the doily, it's so pretty. I'll just kind of do it like that for a moment, and we'll just see whether we're going to have any lace or anything at the bottom of this page before gluing it down. So as we kind of get a complete view of how it's going to look, and we could have one of those little button pieces at the bottom. Maybe that one. I know they're not really much different, but again, you know, kind of these things do matter, don't they? When you're sticking things down, you know, you don't want to kind of do anything that's too permanent if you're not 100% sure that you like it. So I'm just going to fold that to get the idea of if that was on there instead of the pink. That's quite nice, isn't it? You could even have that little cluster of flowers kind of poking out like that. Just try the pink again. I mean, really the only way to tell is by, you know, trial and error, isn't it? And try and then move them away and then retry. Right, first things first, I'm going to glue this down. Now what I might do is actually glue this, I was going to say with hot glue, but actually I'm going to go with the wet glue still. So just add plenty of glue around there. And I'm going to have it as a kind of, you know, tuck spot from the bottom. So that's why I haven't glued the bottom down. get my wipe there to dab up any excess glue that's coming out. And then I'll just pop the book then on this one. Like that, just while it weighs down for a moment. Oops, I'm not sure where that came out from now. We'll just place it back there for a minute. Okay, so we're just going to leave that for a couple of minutes just to kind of, you know, weigh that down. So again, we might as well do another kind of tag while we're waiting. So we'll do this pink one now. I'm just going to trim it down a bit more. And then I will round the corners. And this is a credit note, and it's dated 1946. So that's kind of fun, isn't it? So, and again, we can just cut out something else from here. So might just try actually this pink, what did I say they were? hairpin cards. Just try that first of all. See how that looks. Now it's a shame that I haven't got any more book page with me, because I kind of think that would actually look quite nice layered up on some book page. I'm just having a look through to see if I have got any laying around anywhere. Let me just have a look in my bag of tricks that's beside me. I'm sorry about this, everybody. I know it is very frustrating. It is just literally, it's very difficult to kind of have everything to hand when you're not in your usual kind of workspace. It is you know, tricky to literally think of everything, you know, or think of bringing everything. Some people are very good at doing that, aren't they? And they do seem to unbelievably think of everything and do everything just right, but sadly I am not one of those people. So I'm just having a little bit of a rummage through to see whether I have anything that I can use. Sorry about this, I do really apologise. Oh, come on. Now you would have thought in this great big bag of stuff that I have here that I would have a little bit of book page, wouldn't you? But at the moment I cannot seem to see any. Right, I have got a bit of book page here. Okay. Right, just because I think maybe if we break it up and kind of just have a bit of book page poking out, it might just kind of lift it from the pink. Just enough. Oh, and after all that, I don't actually really like that anyway. Oh, I do apologise, everybody. But I mean, sometimes you just can't tell until you've kind of tried something, can you? So it is always worth trying. You could have it like that. Or let me just try another colour, because you know, it may be that if it was in a different colour it would look really striking. Obviously for me that's just a little bit too samey. Yes, I prefer that. I do prefer that. Now, I just still wish that I could find those little buttons, the pop-out buttons, but never mind. And I also have these little pair of scissors. They're probably a bit monstrous against that hair grip, hairpin band. So probably they're not the ones to use. I'm just going to check back with my original Tilda book here, because obviously I haven't used all of the die cuts from this page, so I actually have got 1 or 2 more pieces that we can just pop out, because I didn't want, let me just take this whole page out. I didn't want the every single tag I fill out to look the same, if you see what I mean. I wanted to kind of have a bit of a mixture, so it would be great to have 1 or 2 of the original Tilda pieces as well. And it purely was because we were beginning to run out why I've printed some off of my own version, just so that we have a little bit more to choose from. But it would be nice to kind of have a few bits mixed in as well. So I'll just throw that to one side. So, I mean, we could kind of layer it up like that. And then what we could do, I've got my little tin that I kind of always bring along for these videos. So what we could do is maybe layer up 1 or 2 little paper flowers or something like that. I mean, again, we really are trial and error here, trial and error. So I'm just pulling this little flower apart. Okay. Like that. And just see what other colours I have here. I've got this lilac one, but it has got the green behind it, which I'm not sure I want the green. I've got that lilac one, that's maybe better. I'm just talking to myself, so please just absolutely ignore me waffling on, really. I'm just kind of choosing a couple of little elements that we might like to have somewhere. Okay. I'm going to check where we are time-wise. Oh my gosh, 58 minutes. That has absolutely flown by. So, right, let's crack on and glue a couple of these bits down. So let's glue this book page on. It maybe hasn't flown by quite so much for you guys, but for me that has absolutely whizzed. I feel quite shocked that it's 58 minutes. I thought we were only perhaps about 45. Really flew. Well, I am terrible today with my clumsy kind of clumsy ways. Don't know what's going on. Okay, we'll have something like that. So we'll glue this piece on. I'm never quite sure really whether my videos are too long or whether you guys actually quite like the long videos. I know that a few people have said that they like them. I know that when I kind of look through, you know, videos, when they're quite long, I sometimes have to save them for when I have time to watch them. So that is obviously something, you know, to take into account. But also, equally, I don't really kind of enjoy the videos that are kind of very short. You know, I like them to be kind of longer, if you see what I mean. Yeah, longer, but maybe this is a bit long. Maybe I'll make a couple more kind of half an hour length. I mean, I guess it's good to have a kind of variety, isn't it? So that you can kind of pick and choose then if you have time or had the urge to while away, you know, an hour, then you could. But if you were kind of keen to kind of keep things more to time, you know, then you could watch a shorter one. So maybe I'll kind of mix some in, because lately they've all been very, very long, haven't they? Kind of an hour. So yeah, maybe that's kind of a little bit much. Okay, right. So I think we're going to make this our last bit for today, because as I say, I was quite horrified just now when I looked and saw what the time was. Well, you know, not the time, but the length of time that I had been filming. So, oops, I think it just slides under the chopping board here that I use. Right, bring that back. Now, I've moved the chopping board, so now I'm probably not in frame. Let me just slide it back. Okay, right, we'll grab this one back, and we'll just complete this page, and then we will call it quits for today. So we could use this here and just slide it up there. Actually, I don't really like it on that page. I'm going to move it to a different page. Oh, I don't think we've glued much down anywhere else. So you might not be able to move it just yet. Although we have done the centre, haven't we? So perhaps we'll pop it here in the centre. That's quite pretty. I like the script kind of running along there. Okay, let's quickly finish this page, and then I can let you good people go. So I'm just going to weigh this down with the book while I kind of decide how to have this. So we could have it like that with the button and the flowers. Or I wonder if I have any of that other pink lace. I can't seem to see any in there. I did also bring along one of my little scrapbook flowers, which I thought might be kind of cute somewhere. Maybe not on this page, but somewhere. Now, do we go with the blue or do we go with the pink? I think maybe the blue. So I'm going to cut that down. Just cutting that in half because it was rather long. If we had these flowers here just kind of poking out, and then kind of like that maybe. Not 100% sure that this is the right button cluster, and unfortunately I don't seem to have any quite the right colours, so maybe I will not go with a button cluster because I don't want to put the wrong one down. So you know, maybe we'll try a bow or something like that instead. It's frustrating because you have these things in your stash, but it's often never quite the right thing that you were looking for. You know, you can never be quite organised enough or have quite enough of the right things, can you? So that's a bit how it's going at the minute. Just having a look through to see if I can find anything else. No, I can't really. I'll just have a rummage and see whether I've got any buttons here that I could just quickly kind of make a little cluster on the fly. Obviously I haven't got any thread, but we could just kind of glue them instead, which I guess would be good anyway for those people who don't like sewing, just to kind of give a bit of an overview of kind of just gluing them instead of sticking them. Oh, I like those two buttons together, they're really nice. So let's have a look. Ooh, they're quite nice just like that actually, aren't they? But I guess if we wanted to kind of pop them on to another piece of fabric. Sorry, I'm just dropping things left, right and centre here. So I'm just now quickly picking up all the bits that I've dropped down the side of the desk. Oh, but sadly none of those paper buttons, so that's a shame, isn't it? Let's have a look. Right, I haven't got any plain fabric, which I thought I had bought some in, but I don't appear to have, so we won't be able to kind of pop those buttons on additional fabric, which that's a bit of a shame. Right, bear with me because I know exactly where there is a little piece of fabric, so I will literally be 2 seconds while I just grab it and then be back. So I'm literally grabbing that. Okay, here we go. I just thought they might look better if they actually had a piece of fabric kind of underneath them, so just literally chop it round. I don't want it too square, so I'm just kind of you know, very roughly cutting it. And then we could have a little bit of lace on there, which we could even mix it up and have a different colour piece of lace, so we could have a little bit of white. Just cut that really tiny. Oh, I didn't like that quite so much with the lace, so let's just check with a different coloured piece of lace. Let's try a little pink piece. So we'll just try a teeny weeny bit. Again, I'm just going to trim the edge off like that. Oh, that's quite nice. So what I'm going to do is literally, I'm going to just hot glue this piece of lace on down the bottom. There we go. So it's stuck there, and then I'm going to wet glue this little flower. Oops. Like that. And then we'll just pop this little cluster. Oops, might have to move that flower out, otherwise it just gets lost in there. Pop that little cluster on there. So we'll stick the large bit of fabric down first. And we'll just pop on this bit of pink lace. Just pop these 2 buttons like that, and again just hot gluing obviously the buttons on because we want them just to, you know, dry nice and quickly. So that one there, and then actually I kind of prefer that now without the red button. I don't know what all of you think. It's funny, isn't it, but sometimes you just move things away and think, I'm not sure now. So I might just not have the other button on there, which I'm not sure whether that looks a little bit naked now with just one. I'll just have one quick rummage through here. I will keep that red one out just in case. See if I've got any other kind of smallish buttons that we could quickly use. Okay, oops, oh no, I've got that stuck onto here. Okay, right, let's just try a couple of these. Maybe the I mean, I thought the red was lovely because it tied that in, but I think we'll just go with the pink one. Just a really pretty button, really pretty. It was in all those vintage buttons that I got. It's just really, really lovely. Kind of mother of pearl one, but it's kind of, I don't know whether the camera can pick that up. It's got a texture kind of to it. It's not flat. Very pretty. Right, I think that is going to have to be it for today, because I'm now up to 1 minute 10, which I just had not realised. So I do apologise, everybody, for taking up so much of your time. But we are getting there now, so hopefully you're kind of feeling encouraged that this journal's finally kind of coming to an end. So yeah, I don't know kind of my schedule kind of for the, you know, completing this journal, but definitely it's going to be a giveaway, and it will be around the end of August. So yeah, and we'll obviously complete the rest of it, you know, before we actually do it as the giveaway. So thank you very much for watching, and I do apologise again for the time kind of just running away with me. So thanks very much, and have a great day. Bye.